It's over!
It's over! That's what I'm saying, boy!
Oh!
He got dropped in!
It's over! Munoz! Oh my God!
Another fight that really is worth watching, tuning in for, is going to be the featherweight bout that showcases Muhammad Naimov and Nathaniel Wood, which honestly, seeing this fight when it was announced, kind of made me think that the UFC had a grudge against Nathaniel Wood. Winning 3 straight and a massive win in his last fight against Andre Fili, I thought that maybe he would get a top 15 opponent, but instead the UFC matches him up against, again, what is a super tough guy in the featherweight division, and it just continues to see that Nathaniel Wood is going to have to showcase a lot of skills before he gets a crack at that top 15 from his move from bantam to featherweight. And Muhammad Naimov, who finished Jamie Mullarkey in their last fight with a brutal counter right hand, showcased what makes him such an exciting and such a dangerous fighter in the featherweight division is raw power. Muhammad will actually be the taller and longer fighter in the contest. Naimov is quick, and he has displayed in his last UFC fight that he has power to match, and power from really, really short shots. The counter right knockout was a performance of the night bonus in his last fight, and although he doesn't punch much in combination, in my opinion, whether he's either countering or moving forward with 1 or 2 punch combinations, very basic, they still come with a lot of heat. The biggest complaint I have about his abilities is probably the grappling, and it gives into him losing rounds, and that has been the biggest factor in his 2 losses that have both come by decision, one on the Contender Series, which it was more prevalent against Colin Anglin, and the other in a Titan FC featherweight title shot against Olivier Murad. And what was a ridiculously close fight, he gave up 3 takedowns in the 5th round and was basically on his back the entire time. That caused him to lose the fight. And this was actually a spot where he showcased some offensive grappling. He can wrestle in his own right. It's just on the defensive side of things, he's not as skilled, and that can again cause him to lose a lot of rounds that tend to see him lose decisions to guys who are wrestle forward and choose to wrestle more often than not. But early on in fights, Naimov is going to be his most dangerous, and it's again all due to that power and speed, whether countering or on his 1-2 combinations moving forward. Since beginning his training at high altitude, I'd also like to mention he's going to make major strides in that grappling and in the late fight energy. So I do see him making improvements, and that's again why I find him as a really, really dangerous fight for Nathaniel Wood. But on the other hand, we take a look at Nathaniel Wood, the former Cage Warriors alumni, former Cage Warriors champion, and one of the more successful Cage Warriors fighters who made the move from bantamweight a couple years ago to the featherweight division. He brought his skill, his technical ability, and what I think is his most impressive feat, his speed. Coming from bantamweight is on an elite level among the featherweights, and he's shown it in his 3 straight featherweight wins. And when you pair his speed with his accuracy and his technical ability to read situations, countering, it makes speed turn to power that lands big shots, where he was in the Fili fight able to knock him down early on a counter right hand. And then that power, it turns back from power back to speed when he barrages his opponents after knocking them down, when he finds an opening and a window to go after them. He dedicates also, which I really like, he dedicates a great portion of his striking to the leg kicks, keeping that above 22% in his 3 featherweight fights. And he made it especially important against a taller and lengthier Andre Fili, and he had a lot of success with it, landing about 42% of his strikes to Fili's leg. We've also seen a well-rounded skill set at featherweight in the Charles Jourdain fight. Jourdain, a very wild and explosive striker like Naimov. He was able to land a takedown every round and a minute of control every round, which again sees me think that he should be the massive favorite in this spot, having the ability to outclass Naimov on the ground, in my opinion. Nathaniel Wood has settled into featherweight really, really well, and in my opinion, you can't look at his career when he was fighting at bantamweight, where he suffered a couple UFC losses, because he has been more impressive at featherweight with his speed, and he's not super small for the division. He does give up height and reach against most opponents, and in this spot he will, but he is still very technical and very fast. So we have a matter of fluidity and speed versus power in the contest, and though I rate the skills of Wood, and I think that he should take a W in this fight, this is extremely dangerous because of Naimov. No surprise, his power, his countering ability, and he just needs the one shot to drop Wood to earn a round and maybe steal 2 rounds, because his power does last through the 1st and the 2nd round. Though I think that I'm going to keep Wood away from any of my parlays, I do still think Nathaniel Wood will get the victory here, and I don't think he'll be able to put him away. Maybe, if anything, ground and pound or a submission, but I think that Nathaniel Wood will take this win via decision. But that'll do it for the breakdown. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, remember, smash that like button, subscribe to Combat Sports Central, and I'll see you in the next one.